All right, Ryan. We just released the first part of your show. It's going phenomenal. Now I want to go over what are you packing is the #1 ranked competitive ethical hacker in the world. Out of 1.9 million people, you're #1.
Right.
And you also put yourself in harm's way breaking into these sex trafficking, sex exploitation rings and confronting these people in public. So
Right.
my first question, before we get into all the hacking stuff, what are you carrying to protect yourself?
Basically everything. When it comes to wireless devices, credit cards, cell phones, computers, cars, garages, gates, I got a device to break into it.
Just let's backtrack. For security, to protect yourself confronting these pedophiles.
Yeah,
How do
a
you
combination of
protect
that and for, daily purposes and helping friends, family, people, clients of my company. And
Do you carry a weapon?
no.
What do you do? What's your plan if one of these guys loses his shit in the middle of you exposing him? Because you go right up to him.
Yeah, well, I have somebody that is great at fighting, scrappy Lampros, but that's my my go-to there. So if
He's the
somebody pulls out a
muscle?
gun, he's the muscle. I'm clearly not.
Well, I got a buddy over at Sig Sauer. Do you know Sig Sauer?
Yeah.
So Sig Sauer, I got a buddy over there. His name's Jason, and I told him you were coming on the show, and he wanted me to present you with something that might help you in your journey busting these pedophiles if something goes wrong.
I know what SIG is. Oh wow!
So that is the
Not expecting that.
SIG P365 macro, holds 17 9mm rounds, plus one in the pipe, so that holds 18. It's got a ported slide on there, which is going to help you with recoil management and muzzle flip. It's like, this is the hottest new gun on the market right now for
This
everyday
is
carry.
wild, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so there's a business card in there. Give Jason a call. I think he might have something very similar for you
Okay.
that he's going to get to you, but that's a conversation you got to have with him.
All right. Well, I will reach out to Jason. Thank you. I was not expecting this at all.
Yeah, my pleasure. So, what do you got in this bag of tricks?
Let me put away the firearm. So, this is the bag that I carry every day, and it's got so much in it that we could be here for 12 hours, but we'll make it short. So this, we'll start off simple. This is a Wi-Fi adapter. It looks like your standard Wi-Fi adapter. Supports a thing called monitoring mode. So there's a your Wi-Fi network. I would use this to send a deauthentication packet to dissociate one of your devices from the network, capture your Wi-Fi, go home, crack the password, and use your network, and then go further into trying to discover stuff on your network. This is a very good card.
Hold on. So how far do you have to be from my house to hack in with that?
It depends on the strength of your modem or router. It could be 50 feet, could be 100 feet. Depends. It could be more. It varies.
Okay.
But pretty far away.
All right. Jeez.
And this is another one related to Wi-Fi, but it looks like a regular Mint container, right? Well, I programmed what's called an ESP32 inside of it here, and put a hole here. So when I supply this with power, I can connect to it wirelessly and perform some Wi-Fi attacks with this as well, a little bit more undercover. He wouldn't really notice if I had this out at the table.
I think you're a lot more dangerous than that firearm that I just presented you.
This is originally made for electromagnetic fields, but it's good for knowing where a camera's at, microphone's at.
So that's a bug detector.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah.
tell
For
you
other
where,
words, yes.
where cameras are. How does it work?
It works by detecting electromagnetic frequencies. So when if I put it up against something, like that supplies power, I don't want to interfere with any of your equipment in here. So
Oh, okay. So does it like direct you to where it is?
yeah. So the signal will go up the stronger that it is.
Okay.
So and and in some cases it'll actually tell me what it is, whether it be Wi-Fi, whether it be a phone or a power line. If I get near an outlet, it would say power line on the screen. But this could be used for many things. I use it, to see if there's bugs and stuff. I'm a little bit nuts when it comes to that. So I don't think I'm being watched, but can't hurt to check.
Yeah. I need one of those.
You can grab them on Amazon. These aren't super hard to get. EMF detector. And then this is actually a really good one here. So if you're ever in a business, for example, this is a device that you would plug into USB. And then as you see, there's an Ethernet adapter here, or a male Ethernet port. And when this plugs in, this has a mini computer inside of it. So as soon as this thing gets plugged into a computer or to the internet, the first thing it does is try to reach back out to one of my servers. So if I put this in, your closet or where your modem was at, I don't think that you would ever think this is a dangerous device.
Yeah.
Or unplug it, or maybe if you unplugged it, most people would be scared to unplug it if it was at their business, and that's kind of the point of it. So if I was at a business doing what they call a penetration test, this device would give me access when I get home so that I could go further into their network without looking suspicious.
Do you make these, or can you just buy that?
Oh, this stuff is, for the most part, I've made a few things that are in this bag, but for the most part, it's any consumer can buy it. You just got to know how to use it or program it. Not all of it's super intuitive or easy to understand. Here's actually one that I made. It was an open source project. Sorry. Okay, so on this side. So this was an open source project, and they call this a Ponagachi. So this is kind of a smaller version of the Wi-Fi antenna. So I would just keep this in my pocket. And what it does is it works off of artificial intelligence. So it tries to find what channels, Wi-Fi works with channels, same way a radio would work like back in the day.
Okay.
Wi-Fi has channels, and this tries to figure out which channel is the best to be on. And it's going to send out what I was talking about earlier, these deauthentication packets, and will knock devices off the network momentarily. And when they connect back on, this is going to try to, in its words, it's going to try to eat them or chomp them. And then it collects they're called handshakes. Those handshakes are what are crackable when you're out of range of that network. So this device it looks like it uses it similar to the Kindle, the Amazon Kindle. So it takes a second because it's called an ink display. So it doesn't matter if you're in bright light or in the dark. There's no backlight on here. But you see how the thing just appeared on there?
Yeah.
So this little guy his whole entire mission is to be fed by Wi-Fi networks. So it's almost like a little pet that needs Wi-Fi networks to live.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was something I built with, it's a battery pack, a Raspberry Pi Zero, and then an e-ink display, and then there's an SD card that's running this software right
Are
here.
you hacking my network right now?
Actually, yeah, unintentionally, yeah.
So what?
So
Holy shit.
So I turned it off. But yeah, you're right. I wasn't even thinking. Yeah, I was hacking your Wi-Fi without even thinking there.
So that thing would hack into my Wi-Fi, kick devices off,
Yes.
and then you have access to those devices? Or that you have access to the network, which is all the devices?
Yeah, I have access to the network. So
How fast does that work?
it's pretty quick. It deauthenticates your network as soon as your device tries to reconnect. It grabs that reconnection, which is called a handshake or a four-way handshake. So yeah, it's pretty quick.
How quick? 30 seconds? 5 minutes?
Well, if you're let's say your router's right there, and your phone is here, or there's a device in this room connected to the network, I'd say 15 seconds.
That fast?
Yeah.
Did you make that one?
I built this one. I didn't create the idea.
Son of a bitch. Is there any way to protect yourself against this shit?
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend staying up to date. Buying new routers when they come out. Get on. Stay up with technology when it comes to your daily. I don't know, maybe devices or
Routers.
Yeah, routers.
What else?
Yeah, routers. Make sure you have a new smartphone if you can afford one. Laptop, make sure you keep it updated. Computer, desktop, whatever computer you use, make sure you keep it on the latest update patch.
So this is why they keep putting out these software updates. It's to combat this kind of stuff.
Of course. And this right here, what does this look like to you?
It's a thumb drive.
It's not a thumb drive. So if I open this up, sorry, I don't have much nails to work with here, but there we go. Inside of this is, you see the SD card in there?
Yeah.
So when this is plugged into a computer, the computer believes that it is a keyboard. So it's an HID device, a human. I'm having a blank. It's a human something. It's a HID device. So when I plug this into any computer, doesn't matter if it's Mac, Linux, Windows, it's gonna not think this is a flash drive, and it's gonna start firing off keystrokes at superhuman speeds. So I have a payload configured on here that will automatically install malware on your computer and dump all the passwords out of your browser. Save them to it's called an FTP, FTP file share. It's like a folder on the internet. It saves those passwords and installs the malware so that I can access your computer later. And then I unplug it from your computer. I walk away and I'm done. But if I leave one of these on the ground outside of your office, or I just leave one in the bathroom, you might think, oh, what's on that flash drive? And then before you have a chance to even pull it out, a payload got executed on your computer.
Holy shit. So, all right. So it takes the passwords out of your browser. What if you use...
And puts malware on your computer.
What if you use like one of these password managers? Are those things worth a shit?
Yeah, some of them are, some of them aren't. Some of them are worth more than others. But yeah, I would recommend using a password manager for anything that you're storing your passwords with.
What is your number one ranked password manager?
One password.
1Password.
Yeah, the numerical one and then password I would recommend.
Is that the only one that's worth a damn?
I don't want to speak on ones that I don't know.
All right, we're going to have to make some changes.
Well, if you're using LastPass, the only reason I haven't used that one, I haven't talked about that one, is because they were recently breached, and I'm not sure if they're being, it's hard for me to tell, but I'm not sure if they're being completely honest about how much information was actually breached.
Oh, good. That's good to know. What name is that?
LastPass.
LastPass.
Yeah.
Stay away from LastPass.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe. If they're telling the truth, then you might be safe.
They got hacked. I'm out.
Yeah, they did get hacked. That's public information. This right here does a lot, but this is two devices. So it's a HackRF1, which for you radio nerds out there, it's 1 megahertz to 5 gigahertz in transmission range. And it can receive in those same ranges, which is extremely far, because 1 megahertz, 1,000 megahertz is a gigahertz. So just imagine if it goes from 1 megahertz to 6 gigahertz. It's a very large spectrum. So there's a HackRF1 inside of here, and then on top of it, I have a thing called a PortaPack, which turns it into instead of you having to plug this into a computer, I could power it with an external battery, and it's touchscreen, which I don't really use the touchscreen, but it allows me to press buttons, and I can change the antennas out. This antenna looks a little bit old school, but it does the job. And what I can do with this is send long range, radio transmissions. So I could hack a car, I could capture a key fob from let's say 200 feet away, or I can if we were outside right now, I could show you every airplane in the sky or every boat that's in the water, and I could see their call sign and where they're at on the map. I could, if I was a horrible person, I could transmit to an airplane with this device and make it believe that, there's a plane in the wrong direction, and I could,
You can basically reroute air traffic.
Yeah, technically you're able to do that. There's other things in place to prevent that, but I could definitely cause a problem in the cockpit with this thing.
I wish you would have used this when you missed your flight, or I'm sorry, when your flight got canceled. We could have got. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, get me put in federal prison. But yeah, I mean this is just a radio, but it's the most powerful radio out there that so many people have created things for. And I have another device that I want to show you that is getting a lot of notoriety right now because of the usability of it, how simple it is, and how small it is. It's called the flipper. And what people don't understand is they watch these TikToks and they see these things where people are hacking a car, or they're reading a credit card, or they're opening a Tesla charger door, or they're opening a garage, and they think that those things just come out of the box with this flipper. You spend the money on it, you buy it, you get it in the mail, and now you're a hacker. That's not exactly how the flipper works. It does a lot of cool things out of the box, so don't get me wrong, it's not a bad tool to have, but the flipper itself looks like this, very small device, has the ability to extend, so you can create other things, which I'll show you in a second here. And with this device, I could do a lot of things. So I can read same radio frequencies, but it's all sub gigahertz, which means under 1,000 megahertz, for better words. And bad USB. Remember that USB drive that was actually a keyboard? Does that as well. I button. This is a form of authentication for certain doors. We have infrared, so I could turn off any TV, projector, audio soundbar. So many things use infrared that you may not even be aware of.
This is what you hacked into your hotel room with yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I saw your Instagram story.
Yep, I did it. I think I kind of make it a tradition to hack into every hotel that I go to. So yesterday it was a nested attack, is what they would call it. So yeah, NFC is actually similar to what I used yesterday. So in NFC, I could read hotel key doors, access control doors for a building. I believe passports. I haven't tried passports. Credit cards. Which is EMV.
Passports, passports have some kind of a...
There's a chip in every passport, yeah.
No shit.
Yep. And then this also does 125 kilohertz RFID, which is a different form of authentication. Credit cards don't use that. So this is more for like getting into doors at businesses and, like employee badges and stuff like that. Or like the pool key in my community would use an RFID badge. So yeah, that's 20% of what this stuff can do. I was just trying to keep it as short as I could and to the point. But if you want a demonstration of any of that, I'd be more than happy to show you.
Yeah, you used this thing at breakfast this morning and ripped off your credit card in literally like 0.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah,
here?
Absolutely. Let me see. Put this back here. I was going to show you the way I can extend the range of the antenna here. This is just a custom-made adapter for the flipper where I can capture Wi-Fi, I can capture wireless mice and keyboards and send, like if you use a wireless mouse or keyboard for your computer, I could send those payloads wirelessly to your devices if you have a vulnerable model. I could do a ton with this expansion, and I also have some external antennas in that bag where I could be very far away and get the same results. So it turns this, which doesn't have a crazy transmission or receiving range, it creates that possibility. So that's, if you do want to see that, I can show you.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so reading a credit card, for example, I highly recommend anyone out there that's not using an RFID wallet like me. I should be using one, but I'm not. But
do as I say and not as I do.
Yeah. So there we go. I just read my card there, and if you want, I could show you the beginning of it.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, so I mean, it's that easy to steal your credit card number. This is just a proof of concept device. You know, there's devices out there that could do this from further away. That I highly advise that you don't do what I'm doing, and you buy a wallet that protects against RFID. And if you can't afford that, they're relatively cheap. But if you can't afford that, the simple solution will be just throw one line of tinfoil around the outside of your wallet, and this is impossible to do. So that's the life hack way to do it.
How fast? I mean, I saw how fast you just did it when it was touching the wallet. How fast could you just brush by somebody and
Instantly? Yeah, there's no delay there.
How many times would it work? Let's say out of 10 times.
If I was just brushing past somebody?
Yeah.
Depends on if they have tap to pay credit cards. But I'd be guessing here, but I'd say 6 out of 10 times.
Tap to pays that won't hack?
If it's not a tap to pay credit card, I can't read it.
Oh, so it has to have the chip in there.
Not the chip. There's another chip there's another chip inside of the card that I can read with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the old school credit cards are more secure now than the new ones? Is that what you're saying?
That's the craziest part to me is they added a chip that the UK or Europe has been using forever, and then it feels like months after that they introduced something that made the security worse than it's ever been.
Incredible.
Yeah, it blows my mind too.
Incredible. What else? So what else can you hack with that? You can get into cars and obviously hotel rooms, because I saw you do that yesterday.
Yep. Yeah. And a lot of people think, well, I'm just duplicating a key, I can get in there. I don't always need to have a key with the firmware that we built. Sometimes there's certain doors that I can't get into, of course. But as of last night, I didn't need the key to get in the door that I got in. But I will show you if you want. I can show you with my keys or your keys. I could show you how I could steal a car or at least open a car right now.
I don't have my keys on me. Do you got some?
I do, yeah. So basically, the first thing I do here is for most cars are going to be in the 315, 433 megahertz range. But on this case, I'll do the frequency analyzer so I can see exactly what that frequency is. So I'll press the lock button. I see that this is 314,999. So that tells me that most likely this is going to be a 315 key. So now I'm going to record. And as I hit unlock, 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 stop. So now I have 4 captures here that will work, because how these work, these use a rolling code. So every time I press this unlock button and the car is within range, that code expires. If I'm out of range of the car, then these are valid codes. So if I went back to to my house and I pressed send and I went and transmitted like I'm doing now, if I transmitted these signals, it would unlock the car 4 times. So the way around that, around these rolling code systems, let's say you are trying to be malicious, you want to steal a car. The way around that would be it's called a roll jam attack. So you would get another device like the device I showed you, the big with the big antenna.
Yeah.
I'd get that device, I would jam, so I'd send a bunch of scattered frequencies on 315 megahertz, because I know that's what this key is. I'd send a bunch of, just static on 315. And then while I'm standing at the store or wherever the person I want to steal something from their car is, I would be listening on 315. So now I'm closer to you listening, and then the jammer is closer to your car. So your car is not going to receive the signal because of the static, but I'm going to receive the signal clear as day from this device. So now my combinations are valid. So when I go to open your car later, mine will work.
Oh my gosh. You are a dangerous man. You are a very dangerous man. You got anything else in that bag?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure that I do. I'm just not.
What's your favorite device?
The laptop. That's the only part I didn't bring out.
The laptop?
Yeah.
We'll get to that in the episode. Well, Ryan, thanks for sharing your EDC. And wow, this is a whole new realm for me. I've not seen any of this stuff. This is crazy.
I appreciate it.